Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Have you ever had any airport packing problems? No, I'm not talking so much about meeting the weight allowance. I know that happens sometimes, but I'm talking about where you're going through security and your hand luggage, you suddenly realize you've left something in that bag that is not going to pass through the security check, something that you should have checked into your main luggage, or maybe something you should not really have brought with you on a flight at all. And so many times I've been stood in the security line at an airport watching people having liquids and makeup and all kinds of stuff confiscated, told you can go back through the airport and or whatever else, or you can just say goodbye to it, and they just reluctantly drop it into that bin. Well, that was taken to a new level recently by a family from the United States who was on holiday in Israel. And on their way home, as they were checking in at Tel Aviv airport and getting ready to depart, the security staff looked in their case and there was an unexploded shell. Apparently they had visited the Golan Heights and one of their children had picked up found an unexploded shell, and they had thought it would be a good idea to take it home in their luggage as a souvenir of their trip to Israel. Now look, I can understand kids doing this, but you would have thought that an adult in the room would actually have said, well, hang on, taking an unexploded shell through an airport might not actually be a good idea. They sparked off a major security alert in Tel Aviv airport. In fact, there was one injury, not caused by the shell exploding, because the bomb disposal people were able to come and clear the airport and safely dispose of the unexploded shell. No, the injury was actually caused by somebody who was so terrified that they were running away and they tried to jump over the top of a baggage carousel and ended up slipping and causing themselves injuries that they had to go to hospital. So this family shut down a major airport because they were carrying an unexploded shell home in their suitcase as a souvenir. Absolutely unbelievable. Except people do this every day. I'm not talking now about maybe a physical unexploded shell. I'm talking about an emotional unexploded shell. In 40 years now as a Christian, I can honestly say that I have met people so many times, and particularly as a pastor, I've met people who are carrying unexploded emotional shells. They've been hurt by events in the past, they've been wounded, and they have never dealt with those things. And then they find themselves in a high-pressure situation and everything explodes. They lose their temper, they alienate people, they say and do things that cause lasting problems. And people are looking at them saying, why are you behaving like this? And they're even looking at themselves thinking, why am I behaving like this? And the reason is because they were carrying an unexploded shell in their emotions. They were carrying something that had hurt them so much, and it's never been diffused. It's never been dealt with. It's never been safely taken away out of their lives. And the only person I know that can truly remove an unexploded emotional shell from our lives is God the Holy Spirit. That whenever we come to him and truly open up our hearts to him totally and are honest, don't try to hide it, and to bring it before him, the Holy Spirit is able to take these unexploded emotional shells and remove them from our lives. So those words, those phrases that used to be a trigger, that used to set us off and cause us to lose our temper, they've lost their power because the unexploded shell has been removed. Hopefully none of us are going to be foolish enough to really try taking a physical unexploded shell through an airport. But let's also not be foolish enough to try to live life with unexploded emotional shells that are there and that can go off, it can hurt ourselves and others. Let's bring these things to the Lord. Allow the Lord to heal us fully and work out his new creation with us by the power of the Holy Spirit. May God help each one of us to do that. And join us again next time for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.